Hello everybody, and today we're going to be looking at the sentence level stress. So we've already spent some time looking at word level stress, and remember that each word is a group of syllables, right? Group of sounds, and within each word, if we have more than one syllable, there will be one stressed syllable, right? And so we're going to have stressed and unstressed syllables. Well, now we're going to start looking at the sentence level stress. And English is a stress-timed language. Now, there are also syllable-timed languages, and if you would like to see a video that explains this, please click this link. But basically, in a syllable-timed language, every syllable will take about the same amount of time, right? We stress every syllable the same. But English is not like that. English is a stress-timed language, which means that our timing will depend on the word stress and not on every syllable being the same. And this means that in English, words are going to be said differently. They're going to be said at different speeds, and they're going to be said with different amounts of clarity, like how clearly we say it and how strongly we say it, right? They're going to be stressed differently. It's a stress-timed language. So, when we think about this, we need to divide words into two different kinds. We have content words and we have function words. Now, content words are the words that have the meaning. Okay, so they are going to be the words that carry the most meaning. And function words or grammatical words are going to be used for structure. They're going to be used as basically as grammar. Now, that doesn't mean that function words have no meaning. We have lots of meaning in these words, but they have a more general meaning, I suppose, whereas content words have more specific meanings for our sentences. So content words, which are read, are going to be nouns, our main verbs, adjectives, adverbs, also negatives. Okay, these are going to be our content words. And auxiliary verbs, pronouns, articles, prepositions, and these kind of words are usually grammatical words. Now, for our purposes, we don't need to be perfect here to know exactly which is a content word and which is a function word. But if we remember that content words are nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, and if we have a negative, we also will stress negatives, I think that will really help us out. What I mean by auxiliary verbs here are things like can. You know, if we have two verbs together, can go, we're going to stress go. We're not going to stress can. Okay? So here's an example. We flew over the mountains at dawn. And so we here is going to be a function word because it's a pronoun. Right? It's not so pronouns are going to be unstressed. The other thing is to be verbs are going to be unstressed as well. But here we have our first verb, the past tense of fly. So it's flew. Right? We've got a preposition. We've got an article. So these are going to be our function words, our grammatical words. And then we've got mountains, dawn. And this is going to be our content words. So we flew over the mountains at dawn. And you can hear as I'm saying that I'm clearly pronouncing those three words more clearly and strongly than the other words, right? The other words are faster. We've over the at, they're faster. I might not be saying them all the way, so they may be reduced. And they can be linked too. They can kind of blend into one sound. Instead of saying over the, I'll probably say or the, or over the. Really soft ending of that blending into the, or the. We flew over the mountains at dawn. Here, I'll do it again. We flew over the mountains at dawn. Now, you might say, well, we sounded pretty stressed, and it's not always perfect, exactly how I say it, and I can also stress differently depending on the meaning I want to show. So it's not going to always follow these rules. Remember that when we speak English, everybody has their own style of speaking. Everybody has their own way of doing it, and everybody has their own meanings that they're trying to tell you. So that can change how we stress too. This is really general rules. Sort of if I'm not thinking about it at all and I'm just talking, it's going to sound like this. But I can always do my own thing. I can always change it a little bit. And you don't have to be perfect. You can play with it and make your speaking the way you want to. So the difference in pronunciation between content and function words, grammatical words. Content words tend to be stressed, and grammatical words are often pronounced in a reduced form, right, or with a schwa sound. So timing. In English, words are said at different speeds and with different stresses. Okay, content words, and let's just think about those four for now: nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, and common nouns and proper nouns. I mean, pronouns we're going to consider to be function words. So, common nouns, main verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, they're said slowly and clearly. If you add function words, the sentence will take the same amount of time, right? So no extra time is added if you add function words because they're said quickly and they're reduced. If you add content words, the sentence will take more time. We're going to look at some examples of that. So just right now, as we're going, think about, are these content words or function words? Cat chase mice. Okay, or cats chase mice. So these are all content words. We've got a noun, a common noun, a verb, and then another common noun. So subject, verb, object, and they're all content words. So it's going to be cats chase mice. Okay, so now we've added a word here. So what did we add? Is that a content word or a function word? The cats chase mice. Well, it is a function word. The is an article, and it is a function word. It is used for grammatical purposes, which means it doesn't take more time. So cats chase mice and the cats chase mice should take the same time to say. Right? Cats chase mice, and sometimes we clap it, so I'll clap and try not to make it too loud. But cats chase mice, the cats chase mice. Right? Notice that I'm not saying the cats chase mice. It's the cats. Almost one sound, right? The cats chase mice. Very fast, because it's a function word, and it's faster. Okay, we've added another word. I think you guys can guess what this will be, right? Try to say it right now by yourself. The cats chase the mice. The cats chase the mice. Right? So cats chase mice, the cats chase mice, the cats chase the mice. All of those should take pretty much the same amount of time to say. It's not the cats chase the mice. Okay, let's look at the next example. The big cats chase the mice. Now you might be able to tell just by the way I said that. The big cats chase the mice. Well, big is an adjective. Right? So it's going to be a content word as well. The big cats chase the mice. So notice we've actually added extra time to this. It takes longer for me to say cats chase mice. The big cats chase mice. Right? That's 4 beats. Cats chase mice. The big cats chase mice. Give it a try. All right, what about this? We've added another word. I think you're all know exactly what it's going to be, but let's just check it out. And we have the big cats chase the scared mice. The big cats chase the scared mice. Now, this is kind of a fun sentence because it's got more content words than function words, right? But in a lot of times, it's not going to be exactly like this. Scared is another adjective, right? So the big cats chase the scared mice. The big cats chase the scared mice. Right, we've got much longer than cats chase mice. The big cats chase the scared mice. Right? We've got a lot more content words there. Okay. Give this one a try. Pause the video and see if you can figure out which ones are content words and which ones are function words. And remember, content words are in the red. They're nouns, verbs, adjectives and adverbs, and negatives. And purple words are function words. right? Pronouns, auxiliary verbs, articles, prepositions, this kind of thing. Okay, so give it a try. All right, so we've got the mice are scared of the big cats in their old house on Murray Street. The mice are scared of the big cat in their old house on Murray Street. All right, so here we go. The mice are scared of the big cats in their old house on Murray Street. Now, some of these you might say, but wait a minute, there is it's a kind of adjective, right? Well, it's a possessive adjective, and we tend to use these the same way as we would pronouns. A good trick I find is if the word can be reduced, and for example, there's, right? There is. That's a good way to know that it might be a function word. In their house, I'm not going to stress it very much. In their house, but I could sometimes, and I'm going to give you an example of that in 1 second. But so the mice, we've got an article with a common noun, the mice, right? So the mice is our content word. Now we have are scared. So the second verb is our main verb, right? So that's the one, or I'm sorry, to be verb, are, and then we've got an adjective scared, right? Are scared. The mice are scared. But to be verbs are not stressed. And that's what I mean by if it's contracted, right? Micer, they are, there. We can contract that, right? They are, there. And that's a good way to kind of show you that we write it that way because we say it that way. The mice are scared. And then we've got of the. And of the, this is the beginning of a prepositional phrase, of the big cats. So of is our preposition, it's unstressed, and the is another article, so that's another unstressed word. And it's going to be one sound, of the. Scared of the. So if I say it, it's going to sound like that, of the. Scared of the. And then big is an adjective, so that's going to be stressed, and cats is a noun, and that's also going to be stressed, right? So we've got our prepositional phrase here, of the big cats. Big and cats is stressed, right? Of the big cats. Scared of the big cats. This is one of the reasons why English can be so hard to hear, because we've got a bunch of words together and it sounds like one sound, right? The mice are scared of the big cats. If you're not listening for that, it'll be really hard to hear it. If you are listening for it, if you become comfortable with the idea that of and the are faster and shorter, it's going to be a lot easier to hear it, right? Because it's always going to kind of sound like that, right? Of the will always sound the way it sounds, of the. But if you don't listen for that sound and you don't know what it is, then it's going to be really hard to hear. The mice are scared of the big cats in their old house on Murray Street, right? Again, we've got another in their old house on Murray Street. So we've got a bunch of prepositional phrases in a row here. Of, in, and on are the beginning of those phrases, and it's preposition plus object, preposition plus object, preposition plus object, right? Of the big cats in their old house on Murray Street. All of these are fast, right? So let's go through a couple of these. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you. Is you going to be stressed here? It's an object pronoun. It really depends on the speaker. Some people might stress it. Some people may not stress it. Let's actually go back here because I said I was going to do this and I want to just show you there. Could we stress there? Yes, of course we can stress there. It would sound like this. The mice are scared of the big cats in their old house on Murray Street. Okay, so I stressed there, and you can see that it's different. I'll do it again unstressed. The mice are scared of the big cats in their old house on Murray Street. Now I'm going to stress there. The mice are scared of the big cats in their old house on Murray Street. You can hear it's a different. The meaning changes. The fact that I'm stressing that word is showing it's extra important. That's why I would do that. I'm trying to really show you that their house is an important part of the meaning. Not my house, not your house. It's their house. It's the mice's house. or it could be the cat's house. There is kind of a bad word choice because of that, because we have two they in the sentences, right? Mice is they and cats are they, so it's unclear whose house it actually is. It could be both of their houses, I suppose. But nevertheless, I'm really showing you there is important. The mice are scared of the big cats in their old house. I really want to show you that that's important. So that's why I would stress an unstressed word, why I might stress a function word for a special meaning. Remember, these rules are very general. Okay, they're for just normal people doing a normal speaking without any extra meaning. But English is all about adding extra meaning, and it's all about making your own way of speaking too. So everybody will have their own way. It's not perfect. Speaking is never perfect. Everybody's unique, everybody's special. So here we go. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you. If I'm not stressing you, it's going to be ya. I'm happy to see ya. And you'll hear that a lot. See ya. Hey, see you later. Right? Ya. That's you. Ya is you. It's just unstressed. Okay. Now here's the next one. We've changed you to Bob. And now Bob is a proper noun. And so that's now a content word. I'm happy to see Bob. Right? I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see Bob. I'm happy to see you, Bob. If I put Bob at the end here. Yeah, Bob. I'm happy to see Bob. Happy, see Bob. I'm happy to see Bob. The extreme example of this is, it'd be like, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm not saying I'm, and I'm not saying I am happy to see Bob. Right? That would be more of a syllable timed sound. So if you are speaking and you say, I'm happy to see Bob, that means that you're using syllable timing here. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy to see Bob. I'm happy to see Bob. Yeah, I'm happy to see Bob. Are you happy to see Bob? Yeah, I'm happy to see Bob. Okay. I hope that your heads aren't exploding right now, but I understand if they are. Here again. I'm happy to see my house. Give these a try while I say it. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to say them after I say them. So, I'm happy to see my house. I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see it. Glad to see. I'm glad to see it. Again, is it stressed? It's very soft, but it might be hard to tell. Hey, it sounds stressed. I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see it. You can hear the little difference there, I think. I'm glad to return to my house. I'm glad to return to my house. Glad return house. I'm glad to return to my house. She's glad to return to her house. She's glad to return to her house. To her. To her. She's glad to return to her house. She's glad to return to her job. I mean, I've just changed the ending words here, but you can hear the difference. Jim is glad to return to his job. Jim is sad to return to it. Jim's sad to return to it. That. So, again, what's that? It's the sound of me saying to and it. Notice that I'm not saying Jim is glad to return to his job. And you say, oh, but that sounds so much better. That's so much easier to understand. Yeah, because you can hear every word clearly. And when you can't hear the words clearly, that's when it becomes a little bit harder, right? And that's why your ears have to start listening for this, these function words being blended together, linked together, faster, reduced. Jim's glad to return to his job. Hey, I'm happy to see you. Yeah, and I'm happy to see Bob. And I'm happy to see my house. I'm glad to see it. Yeah, I'm glad to return to my house. And she's glad to return to her house. And she's glad to return to her job. And Jim's glad to return to his job. And Jim's sad to return to it. Mary and Kate are sad to return to their jobs. And they're sad to return to them. Mary and Kate are sad to return to their jobs. They're sad to return to them. I wrote them. This should be to them, but they're sad to return to them. They're sad to return to them. Okay, the schwa. We all remember the schwa, right? Unstressed vowel sounds and turn to And we looked at this at the word level, and that was cool. That was great. So unstressed vowels changed to at the word level. And single syllable words are supposed to be stressed, right? Remember we looked at car. There's no way to stress it. Car. It's not two syllables, it's one syllable, right? So a single syllable word should be stressed, and we shouldn't see a schwa, except that with function words, we will see them turn into a schwa. And the articles are the best examples of these. So I always get these questions. Teacher, is it the or the? Is it a or a? Because I'd say, can you give me a glass of water? Or I say, could you give me a glass of water? Well, which one is it? Is it un or an? Well, the answer is that it should be the, un, because these are function words. They're unstressed. So these vowel sounds should turn into a schwa sound. The, right? That would be an schwa, not the or the. I don't know who says that. So unless I am putting stress onto these for a reason, because sometimes I want to show that this is the cup. It's really important that you know this is the only cup. This is my important cup. It's the cup. Hey, give me the cup. Give me the cup. If I say it like that, I'm putting my stress on the, and so I'm showing you that it's important that it's that one. And I'm putting more stress on it for a special reason. But generally, I'm just going to say the. I'm going to use that schwa sound for the. Because it's an unstressed word. And most of the time, you might not even hear it. It might be so reduced or linked, right? So let's look at a couple of examples here. It's the car. It's the car. See, the car. The car. It's the car. The, schwa, It's the car. It's the car. It's a car. You might not even hear the might be totally gone depending on the speaker. It's the car. It's in that sentence became the. It's a car. It's a car. My brain knows that the word the is supposed to be there, right? Because I'm a native speaker, my brain will naturally add that word for me. So I don't have to hear it to know it's there. And that can be really challenging for you guys as second language speakers. It's a car, right? It's a car. It's a car. It's the car. It's a car. Now, it's an orange car. Now, notice orange is an adjective, so it's another content word, right? So it's going to take more time. It's a car. It's a car. It's an orange car. The last one was longer because it had two content words, remember? But see, the, un. It's the car. It's a car. It's an orange car. Okay, so here are just some common ones that you might see. There are lots of them, but these are just a few to kind of really look for. Could have, coulda, should have, shoulda, would have, woulda. Okay, those are very common linked sounds. Got to, gotta, need to, needda. In the, right? Because it's a schwa sound here, so in the, into the, into the. Can you get into the car? Into the car. Just kind of common, so ones that you may or may not see. So I'm going to just read a couple more sentences so you can hear them. And these are just some activities that they'll often do where you swap out the words. So here we go. Snow is coming to Ontario tomorrow. The president is coming to Ontario tomorrow. The president is visiting Ontario tomorrow. The president is visiting Ontario next week. The president is visiting our college next week. Many new students are coming to our college next week. Many new students are coming to our college last year. Many new students attended our college last year. Only 100 people attended our college last year. Only 100 people attended my birthday party last year. Only 3 people attended my birthday party last year. Only 3 people attended my birthday party last year. Well, anyways, enjoy it, everybody. Content words and function words. So remember, if we go back all the way, content words are words that have meaning. Think about them as common nouns. Think of them as main verbs, adjectives, adverbs, negatives, right? And the other words, pronouns, articles, auxiliary verbs, prepositions, to-be verbs, these are function words, and they're going to be said faster. Function words are going to be said faster. They are going to be said less clearly. Okay, good luck listening, and I hope you've enjoyed. Goodbye.